Guys, what's going on? Fred the Physio back here with another, well, I haven't done a video in quite a long time. I moved down from Melbourne and I joined a new cheer team, so it's been quite busy with that and work. But I still want to keep making content, so today we're going to talk about the toss line, the sacred toss line that everyone talks about when partner stunting. Let's go have a look. So the concept of the toss line is basically the flyer's flight path, their flight trajectory. So when the coaches say, oh, keep the flyer in the tube, that's what they're talking about. I think it's also noteworthy to mention that each flyer has a different jump. Some will jump straight up and some will jump a little bit more backwards, so they'll end up on top of the base. Just as long as they don't jump forward. That's probably wrong. For bases, I would suggest flying with different flyers and getting used to how each flyer jumps differently. So let's take a look at an example of this in action. This is going to be for you beginners. So one of my mates needs to get a toss QP for his routine. So I asked him to send a video to me of a side profile of his toss top. And this is what we found. You can see we're going up very nicely, and then look what happens. He pushes it forward. So when we start learning partner stunt, normally when we get to toss hands, this isn't really a problem. But when we start going to toss top, this is where the line really becomes more important. And then when you start catching to one hand or you start doing some twisting skills, things can get really out of control if you don't have proper control over your line. But don't make things too complicated. You're a beginner. What we're doing is we're trying to just make a good straight line, either up or back a little bit over towards the base. What we're aiming for when you start partner stunt is just making the toss line consistent and stop massive deviations like this one that you see here, pushing all the way forward. So now that you see that the line, the jump line, is a lot more better, where it's going straight up and then coming back down. It's not perfect, but we're not asking for perfect when you first start partner stunting. When you start partner stunt, there are so much things going on. So I think having something simple as making just your jump line a little bit more straighter and stopping it from waving all over the place is a good place to start without overwhelming the base and the flyer. So when it comes to partner stunt, there are a lot of other factors like strength and speed and when you put your force in when it comes to the toss. But today we're just focusing on the line. So my coach here, Carlos, there is a bit of deviation. It's not perfect. It's not a perfect line when he tosses. It goes a little bit forward, as you can see. So what I want you to take away from this is that if there are massive deviations in your jump line, then that's what I want you to fix. If the fly is really getting pushed out forward, or the fly is starting to look like a floppy fish in the air going back and forth, you probably need to fix up your line a little bit more. As you get more complicated in your skills, doing twisting or going to one arm, you're going to need to tighten that line up a little bit more. I think there's always going to be a little bit of deviation, like we can see with Carlos here, but he's still consistently hitting the top. So if that's the case, then there's something else probably going on. That's it for me, guys. Thank you so much. I hope you learned something. If you did, like, comment if you have any questions, or you can send me a video review to my Instagram if you want to. Otherwise, happy training, guys.